So just find something to sit on. You can sit cross-legged. Welcome, everybody. Sitting again in Swastikasana, but just note the position that you got into when you sat down. We generally cross the same way every time. It's a natural habit, so change the crossing of. Sit with your legs folded in the more unnatural position that you would choose. And then from there, bring your knees a little bit closer and your shins further forward. Hold onto your knees. So you're on the support. Now just draw your buttocks flesh back. So exposing your sitting bones onto the support. Hold again onto your knees and lift your chest. So before we start, it's always good just to allow the base of the pose to settle down to the earth. And then from there, the waist and the chest lifts up, your shoulders roll back. So we're really opening the heart chakra, the anahata chakra, and then you can bring your hands together. Gently close your eyes. Just take a moment to bring your awareness into the room that you're in, the space that you're in, onto your mat. And to this connection of your hands from the heel of the palm into each fingertip, that gentle but definite connection. Release any expression or tension on the skin of your face. So softening from the center of your forehead towards the temples. And let your eyes gently recede back and out to the corners. Just become aware of your breath, entering and leaving the nostrils, spiraling down into the lungs, almost down towards the base, to the root chakra. And spiraling out. Let's start with the 3 Om sounds. We'll do them together. So empty your lungs completely. Inhale. Stay seated with your eyes closed. If you know the invocation to Patanjali, you can join in. Otherwise, just sit with a deep sense of gratitude for the gift of yoga and where it comes from. Yogena chitasya padena vacham malam sharirasya tavejakena yopa kurutam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjali ranatosmi Abhavu Purushakaram Shankar Chakrasidarinam Sahasra Shirsam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjali Hari Om. Release your head to your heart and have a moment just to make your own inner acknowledgements. Keep your head down, but slowly open your eyes to look to your fingertips. And then release your hands, so your palms face up and they're just resting on the inner knees. Head down, eyes softly focusing. And then raise your head. Just to start with, we're going to go into Ardha Mukha Virasana. Take something for underneath your head, so a foam or a towel or blanket. And then if when you sit back, so we've got our knees apart and we sit back onto our heels, if as soon as you go forward you feel your buttocks lifting, just place a rolled blanket or towel or something underneath, just to make that space filled with something, so there's now a connection. And then take your hands forward, spread your fingers, arms are straight, and release your forehead onto the support. And remember also, if you have any knee problems, it's also good to then you can actually bring the rolled blanket or towel behind your knees. Come all the way forward and you draw it behind your knees and sit back. If you're taking something behind your knees, then you will need a little bit more height underneath the buttocks and the heels. Have your eyes closed. Bring awareness to your hands now. So spread your fingers. And with your eyes closed, just take your mind's eye to where your inner upper arms would be. So Desi, we're in Ardha Mukha Virasana. So you can go forward with your head down. So where your inner upper arms are, just gently roll those up. And of course, be careful if you have any hypermobility. Some of you, your arms can roll almost out to the outer side. So you know for you where to work to not roll too far out. But for most of us, we need to take the inner upper arms and roll them out. And as you do so, you feel the weight goes more onto the little finger side. Keep the arms working in that way, but press down now onto your thumb side. Arms are completely straight. And now gently press down onto the mat as if you're pushing the mat forward and away from you, so your buttocks reaches further back towards your heels. Your shoulder blades are gliding down your back, drawing the trapezius muscles away from your neck. That's working the back body. The back body's working in that action. But the front of the body, you're lengthening from your pubic bone towards your navel, your belly button, and from there towards your sternum. And your sternum moving forward and then opening up out towards your collarbones, broadening. So just remember, at any time during the practice, if you would like to come down and rest or have a moment, this is the pose to go into. And any time in the day, if you're feeling a bit stressed or overwhelmed, it's a great one just to come down into and bring your awareness to your breath. Raise your head. Bring your hands to the sides of your knees. Just move the blanket if you've got one between your heels and buttocks. Move it away. Bring your heels together and just sit up for a moment. We'll need a chair, and I am aware that we don't all have the yoga chair, so I'm using the dining chair to show you. You can see mine's round, so it's a little bit tricky when you're doing things like this. So put a blanket on the top of it, or a towel, something quite thick. So you almost bring it to being level. I just want to see, can you guys see my chair? Yes, okay. So place it against the wall. For some of you, this may be too high. Then just build up your height on the seat of the chair with whatever you've got. So whatever props you've got, so that you're going to end up like that. You will need a strap. And really, we are emphasizing that in this position, even though for a lot of us, we can still get this height, the most important part of this pose is that the outer hip needs to move down. So we may be able to reach up super high, but this hip jumps up. So really focusing on being able to move that outer hip down. So you can try, for some of you may want to try this height, but if you can't move that outer hip down, just come lower and build up the seat on the seat of your chair. So have your strap or your sarong. Stand with your right leg lifted and see that the left heel is in line with the outer hip. So actually lean over. Often we tend to put the leg further back. It's a lot easier standing with the foot further back, but we want to bring it so that the heel is below the hip. So the right leg is lifted. Grab with the strap around your foot. Bring it up to the ball of the foot. So that's that part of the fleshy part of the foot below the toes. Hold on to the strap. Lift your chest. And have the strap, the arms straight. So you're not bending your arms. You want to lift your chest. Yeah, that looks good. Jade, step your left foot forward a bit more towards the wall. Yeah, that looks good. And now draw the outer right hip down. Straighten the left leg. Lift your chest. Lengthen and open the front of your body. So no rounding to the back for now. Keeping up, lifting the chest. Outer right hip, move it down. And that left front thigh is pressing back. That's your standing leg. And the left inner thigh is moving back. Keep lifting your chest. See that your toes are pointing up to the ceiling, that the leg hasn't turned. So you can see your kneecap is facing up towards the ceiling. And now widen your elbows, move further towards the wall and your foot, but keep lifting your chest. See if you can go that much closer. Widen your elbows. Jade, I can see you so nicely. So widen your elbows, move your chest further up and forward. So flatten your upper back. Yes, very nice. And now keep moving your right up, outer hip down. One more time, down. Yes, very nice. And now come back up, lifting your chest up. Take the strap into your, which leg we are, take both pieces of the strap into your left hand. Take your right hand to your hip. Lift your chest. Inhale and exhale. Turn to your right from the waist and then the chest and then your shoulders. If you can, look over your shoulder. Keep breathing. Keep your chest lifting. And then if you can, take your right arm in line with your shoulder, palm facing down. Otherwise, just keep your hand to the hip. So for some of you, you may be able to reach your foot. So if you can hold onto the foot. Outer right hip still, focusing on moving the outer right hip down. And from that movement down, the waist lifts, your chest lifts. Look over your right fingers if you can. Very nice. Standing legs strong. There's a gentle parivrita action. Very nice. Left front thigh, back bell. Straighten the standing leg. Yes, very nice. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, come back to the front and release that leg down to the floor. And then change legs. So again, just check in that you have your right foot now below your right hip. Hold on to the foot. The strap is around the ball of the foot. So we're not working to the heel. The heel is more skeletal. Around the ball of the foot, it's muscular. So find your balance here and then descend your left outer hip. Move it down. Keep it in that position. Lift your chest. So Utthita Hasta Pangusasana 1. Keep lifting the side body up, the front body up. And firm that standing leg. That right thigh is pressing back. Any hypermobility, so those of you who know who you've got that hypermobility, you have your leg slightly bent, you need to work a little bit harder then by really drawing up the front thighs, really drawing up the quadriceps. Widen your elbows now. Inhale. Walk your hands closer towards the wall as you exhale. Go forward. Lift your chest. So even though you're going forward, yes, nice, Jade, lifting and lengthening the front of the body, opening the front of the body. Collarbones moving away from each other. Daisy, from what I can see, you need to bend that standing leg a little bit more even. Yes, good. No, it's difficult. And then really draw that front thigh up to the front hip. And now come back up with your chest, lift up. Take the strap into your right hand, both pieces of the strap. So if you are reaching your foot without rounding, take the hand to the foot. Left hand to your hip. Inhale and exhale. Turn from your waist, then your chest, then your shoulders, and then your head goes around last. Keep breathing, find your balance. Firm that standing leg. And then if you can, take your hand out in line with your shoulder, palm facing down. Lift your chest. Very nice. Keep your breath flowing. So as we've turned, that left outer hip seems to want to lift up towards the shoulder. Draw it down towards the floor. It's almost moving down towards your right inner ankle, having that direction. Inhale, deeply lift your chest, and exhale, come back to the front, and then just release your foot down. Just stand to the wall with your hands spread, and just lean back, feet apart. Bring your hands in line with your shoulders, wrists in line with your shoulders, and release your head down. Keep your legs straight. Your hips are level, front thighs pressing back, inner thighs moving back. Excuse me. So for some of us, if we have any hip trouble or your hips are a bit loose, this pose that we were doing now on the chair, it's a very strong action. So when you come out of it, if you feel any discomfort, just take a moment before you walk around. Okay, so lift your chest and come stand all the way up. For this next one, we will need at least a block, if you have a block. If you don't have a block, then the chairs work wonders. So we'll be using the chair. So no straps or anything now, just have the chair or your blocks. So just keep the chair off your mat for now. Have it handy. Bring your fingertips together. Stand in the middle of your mat. Inhale, jump or step your feet apart. And then we're going to your right. So turn your right leg all the way out to 90 degrees. Lift your chest. Hips are level, so careful here. Just see, you may be able to see yourself on your screen. If you can't, it doesn't matter. Just bring that left hip up. We want them to be in alignment. Turn your back foot in slightly. Inhale. And exhale, extend and reach over into Utthita Trikonasana to your right. So in here, I've got the wrong shirt for this. It's better to have fitted clothing so you can really see the shape of the body. We tend to arch up in this pose. So lengthen from your right hip to your right armpit, lengthen, and the outer side of the rib cage flattens as we can go down a little bit lower. For some of you who have the capacity, you can take your hand to the floor without rounding to reach there. Rather hold onto the shin bone. Take your head back in line with your spine, or the neck in line with the spine. Press down onto the outer edge of your back foot. Mel, take your chest and your torso back, further back. Yes, very nice. Keep your breath flowing, lengthening from the tailbone towards the tip of the skull, the base of the skull, and then towards the top of the head, in that direction. Look forward. Inhale, come up with straight arms. And then exhale, turn your feet to the front, keep your arms up, and then turn to your left. So that left leg turns out to 90, your back foot turns in. Be careful not to drop your lift that left hip. Inhale, and then exhale, go all the way over. Keep your breath flowing. And again, now lengthening from the left hip to the left armpit, flattening this upper rib cage to bring it parallel to the other side of the rib cage. If you can, turn your head to look up. Very nice. And then look forward and inhale, come all the way up. Jump or step your feet together. So I'm going to show you, just demonstrate using the chair for the next pose. So that is the triangle, Uttita Trikonasana. We're going to do the revolved triangle, Paririta Trikonasana. So just watch for a moment. The back foot, the right foot turns out, back foot turns in. We're going to turn the body, and then here you need to come up onto this back foot and turn so that that hip can come forward. Then from here, we'll take our hands to the hips, lengthen and open the front of the body, arms out, and then we'll turn to the chair. So your one hand goes to the top, the other hand comes down the leg of the chair. If you've got the block, then this hand is going to the block. And then from here, the chair is amazing because you can really hold onto it and turn, turn, turn. And then if you've got your balance, then you take that arm up. And then to come out of it, lift up, arms out, and turn to the front. So put the mat at the back of your, the chair at the back of your mat on the right side. Stand in the middle in Tadasana. So blocks or the chair. Bring your fingertips together. Lift your chest. Inhale, jump. Extend into your fingers. Lift your chest. Inhale and exhale. Turn your right foot out to 90 degrees. Just bring your hands to your hips now and step up onto the toes and the ball of the foot of that back foot. Lift it up as you turn that hip. You may need to step forward slightly to allow that turning action already coming into the hips. Hands on your hips, elbows back. Lift your chest. It's almost like you're doing a slight back bend here. Straighten both legs. And now inhale, take your left arm up. Look up, and then exhale, extend forward and to the side. So you're coming to the outside of your right foot, taking your hand onto the chair, the leg of the chair, bring the other hand onto the top of the chair now. So don't turn all the way yet. So we're just using the chair now. We're holding onto the chair. Keep straightening your legs. See that you're not rolling to the outside of that right foot, but still lifting the inner arch of that right foot. And now comes the Paririta action. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to turn, gently pushing on the seat, the top of the chair, pulling on the leg of the chair, turning your chest to that chair. If you can, take your right arm up. Otherwise, keep holding onto the seat of the chair. Really helps to The chair helps to be a fulcrum for turning. If you can, walk your hand further down the leg of the chair. You can do that. So if you've got the block, it's on the outside of your right foot, and you're turning. Holding for a little bit longer. As you exhale, let the torso turn even more, revolving and opening up to the ceiling. Spine lengthening from the tip of the tailbone to the top of the head. Very nice. And then inhale. Come all the way up, turn to the front and exhale. Just pause for a moment. Move your chair to the other side. So it's the back of the chair is on the edge of the mat. Take your hands to your hips, turn your left foot out to 90 degrees and the back foot in. And now turn your chest, come up onto the toes of the back foot and then reach back into that heel so your legs are straight. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, stay in this position. And now take your right arm up. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, start to turn as you extend forward to the leg of that chair. Take the other hand to the top of the chair. Pause here. So the leg of the chair is coming quite close into the outside of your left foot. You can creep your hand as low down as you can on that chair. And now comes the paririta, the revolving action. Start to turn your chest, opening up to the back of the chair. If you can, take that arm up. So your left arm up, legs are straight. And here, your left hip is drawing back, and your right hip is relaxing and rolling down towards the floor in the direction that you're turning. It's rolling in that action. So you're not holding onto it. Just let it flow over like a waterfall. Desi, that front leg, just bend it, release it. Sorry, yeah, release it a little bit. Perfect. Okay, press down, root down into your feet. Inhale, come up. And exhale, turn to the front. Just take your hands to your hips. When you're ready, jump or step together. So now we'll do Prasarita, the widespread pose. Prasarita Padottanasana. Take whatever support you need to put your head onto. So this is just a reminder, this is the widespread pose where we take the head down and it rests and connects onto something. So take as much height as you need. If you need a chair, you could put your head onto the chair, that's fine. And we're going to use the very back edge of the mat. So again, heels to the back edge of the mat. When you are ready, just stand with your legs apart, your hands on your hips, elbows back. And you can really work into this pose. Okay, looks good. Press down onto the outer edges of your feet. And as you're doing that, the inner arches naturally lift. Be aware of that action when the inner arches are lifting. There's a lengthening that comes up the inner legs all the way to the inner groin. So we want to maintain that in this pose. Keep the gentle pressure on the outside of your feet. Inhale and look up. And then exhale, come all the way forward to bring your hands below your shoulders and look forward. Pause here. Still with that gentle pressure to the outer edges of your feet and the hamstrings, so the back of your thighs, they're lifting up towards your sitting bones. Bring your hands further back, still looking forward. Keep looking forward. Take your hands as far back as you can towards the back edge of your mat. Inhale. And exhale, take your head down onto the support. So as you've taken your head down, your shoulders tend to want to follow down towards the floor. Gently ease them up away from your ears. So there's that space in your neck. See if you can take your hands as far back as the back edge of the mat. So just try without doing a roly-poly forward. So find that balance between the connection of the hands on the floor and the feet on the floor. That's balance, and there's just a very gentle connection with the top of the head to your support. So if there's quite a heavy connection, then you need to move your weight back more towards the heel side. If you feel that you don't need the support under your head and you can reach the floor, you can take the support out. And now raise your head, look forward. Just move the supports, slide them forward away from you. Walk your hands, sliding them like a sliding door, so not turning at an arc. Just walk your hands over towards your right. Take your right hand onto the outside of the right ankle, and then turn your chest down towards that leg, to wherever you get to. If you need to keep your one hand on the floor, that's fine to balance. If you can, take the other hand to that leg and widen your elbows and draw down towards that right leg. The torso, the entire chest needs to turn towards that leg. Let the front of the body lengthen towards the foot of that leg. And then raise your head, bring your hands in front of the foot, and again walking them over like this, like a sliding door, all the way over to your left. Take the left hand onto the outside of that ankle. If you can, join both hands, otherwise keep the other one to balance. Inhale, and now exhale, turn your chest towards that leg. Widen your elbows as you draw yourself down towards that leg. So there should be no rounding in the back here. If you're rounding, just come a little bit away from the chest, rather lift your chest away from the leg. If you are getting your head to connect to the leg, be aware that the first connection should be the abdomen, and then the chest, and then the head. Otherwise, there's rounding. And turn the torso towards that leg. And then lift your head, bring your hands below your shoulders again, look forward. Just pause here for a moment. See if you still have the pressure on the outer edges of your feet. Legs are straight. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale, lift up. Keep your breath flowing, just pause here for a moment. When you're ready, heel toe together. Just stand for a moment in Tadasana. And just remember, if you ever come up for something like this, an inversion, and you're dizzy, just you bend forward, you hold at your elbows, and you hang down. If you're not dizzy, just stand in Tadasana, find your balance. Let your eyes meet something that's in line with them, soften your gaze. Okay, and then we're going to come and sit down onto the mat with at least either a blanket or a foam. So I am aware that there are some of you who have hypermobility. So this is one that in your self-practice, it's good to figure this one out, because when we sit in Upavishta Konasana and we're sitting on support, if there is hypermobility, See, the back of the legs are going down even more. So if when you sit on the support, that happens, you have to take something underneath here. But some of those with hypermobility, when you sit without support, if you're able to sit without support and your pubic bone is moving down, so you're not, if you look from the side, so you're not having your pelvis tilting back like that. If you're not having a pelvis tilting back like that and you've got hypermobility, you're able to sit like that, don't sit on something. I hope that makes sense. So that's just for those with hypermobility because the back of the legs seem to overextend. And for everybody, just check in whether you're using support or not, that when you press the back of your legs into the floor, your heels should not lift. So your heels must still have that connection. So for most of us, we need a little bit of support because of the way the whole pelvic girdle tilts. So you want to make sure that your pubic bone is moving down to the support. It's also nice sometimes to use the support to get that position with your buttocks moving up the back, pubic bone down, and you can even slide a little bit further forward and come off the support. It moves the buttocks flesh up. Okay, so we don't need anything in front of us. I should have said just now, but some of you may need a strap. Just have it handy. Press down onto your fingers and lift your chest. Keep lengthening and lifting the front of your body. Press the back of your legs down. And as much as you're pressing down, let the entire leg draw up towards your hips. So the head of the femur is coming into the hips, safely into the hips. Take your hands forward. Keep your chest lifting. As soon as we take our hands forward, we tend to cave the chest back in. Move the chest up. Walk your hands forward even more. Flatten your hands, your palms, spread your fingers. Lift your chest even more. Keep the back of your legs pressing down. Your toes are pointing up to the ceiling. So now some of you, this may be your personal maximum. Just stay there. If you can, walk your hands a little bit further forward. Chest still lifting. We're not rounding the back at all. So just go to your personal maximum. When you're at your personal maximum, just release your ears to be in line with your upper arms. Keep your eyes open. Some of you, your head may go to the floor. That's fine. Your legs are still working the backs of the legs down. So your kneecaps are pointing up towards the ceiling or facing up to the ceiling. Toes are pointing up to the ceiling. So when we come forward, we don't roll our legs into another position. They firmly and safely drawing into the hips. Raise your head. And now at your personal maximum, wherever it is, stay like that. And we're just going to walk our hands over to your right. So slowly walk over to the right. Hands, one hand on either side of the foot. So if you are very high up here and your back, you're feeling the work in the back, take the strap. Rather have that support of holding onto your foot. So spread your fingers if you're on the floor. See that that left leg is not rolling out. It's still drawing into the hip. Keep your chest lifting. And if you can, now hold onto your foot. Widen your elbows. Still looking at your foot. Lengthening your torso across the leg. The first part that touches, if you are in this position, the first part that touches is the abdomen. Widening your elbows and then your chest, and then take your head down. So that's only if you're in that, if you have the capacity to do that. Just otherwise stay when your personal maximum is. Using your exhalation to soften and release. Jade, roll your left side of the ribcage more down to the floor. Yes. Oh, Daisy, that looks good with the legs. Okay, then raise your head. Stay low, taking your hands, walking them all the way across to your left. So one hand on either side of the foot. See that the back leg is not rolling out, it's drawing into the hip. Your left leg is drawing into the hip. Lift your chest, inhale, and then exhale, lengthen and extend forward to your personal maximum. You can grab onto the foot if you can. If you have the foot in your hand, so this is for the instruction for those who have their foot in the hand. Roll your right side of the ribcage down towards the floor. Your shoulders are level. Widen your elbows even more. And feel if you can touch the abdomen onto the top thigh. And if you're going all the way down, keep the abdomen connected, keep the back of that leg pressing down, and then release your head down. Elbows still lifting. Use your exhalation to soften and release. For everybody, soften the tightness as you exhale. And then raise your head, release your foot, walk your hands back to the front. Walk your hands a little bit further forward again to your personal maximum and release your head down one more time. Just your ears coming in line with your upper arms. So even if you're upright, you can just release your head down. And the same arm action here that we started with in Adho Mukha Virasana, where your inner upper arms are gently rolling up towards the ceiling. Where your inner upper arms are rolling up to the ceiling. Raise your head. Bring your hands all the way back. Take your hands behind your knees and just gently help them up, lean back. Bring your feet onto the floor, hold onto the top of your shins. And then just as you gently squeeze onto your shins, lift your chest, release your shoulders down your back. Just have your gaze softening down to the floor. So now we will use the wonderful chair again. So grab a chair if you don't have one. Place the back of the chair to the back edge of the mat. So as if you're sitting facing me. You won't need a strap or anything for now. So just sitting facing me like we're having a wonderful dinner party. And then you're going to slide or spin around so that your right side, I'm doing mirror image, your right side is against the back seat of the chair or the back rest of the chair. Okay, so everybody's got their right side against the chair. See that your feet are below your knees. Your ankles touching. Any hot flushes or menopause, you can have your feet apart. Knees are touching. And now lift your chest. Turn to the chair so your hands are on the back rest of the chair, on the top of the chair. Your shoulders are in a line. So we haven't done the full twist yet. So we're doing Bharadri Rajasana in the chair. Inhale, lift your chest, pull on the top of the chair and turn from the waist. Keep breathing, turn your chest. And now if you can, release your right hand to the front of the seat. Hold on to the front of the seat. Your left hand is holding onto the top of the chair. Inhale, lift your chest even more. And exhale, see if you can deepen the twist. So the entire chest and the waist is revolving all the way around to the right. The right shoulder tends to want to lift up, so release it down away from the ear. If you can, look over your right shoulder Keep your eyes soft. Keep lifting the front of the body with each inhalation. With each exhalation, see if you can turn slightly deeper. Just micro movements. So this is a good one to do if you're doing any office work. Try and at least do it once a day when you're sitting at a desk for so long. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, come back to face where your knees are. And just spin all the way around now. So your left side is facing the outer edge of the chair. If you have, if you're not very tall, you can also put something underneath your feet like that. Okay, so feet together, knees together. Take both hands onto the top of the chair. Lift your chest. Inhale, and then exhale, turn your chest towards the back of the chair. Keep your breath flowing here. Release your left hand onto the seat of the chair now. And as you do that, allow that left shoulder to draw away from your ear. So keep that. It's important to keep the shoulders level in this twist. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale. Now move, turning from the waist, the chest, shoulders, and then your head around last. Keep your breath flowing, that your eyes and the gaze is soft, almost defocus the eyes, like the lens of a camera. When you go out of focus, soften your eyes. And use your breath as you inhale, you're lifting the front of your body and your chest. And as you exhale, it's a deep, micro movement twist as you're deepening the twist. All the internal organs getting a lovely squeezing, wringing out, detoxing action. And then inhale deeply and exhale, turn back to where your knees are. Move the prop off the mat. If you have a bolster, grab a bolster. I am a bit concerned about some of the cushions and things that we use as a replacement. If they're very soft, rather take some blankets or towels to build up to this sort of height. But just for a moment, just get your props ready. Can you see that in the camera? Yes. You can see the size of the bolster, just about that high. And then put them along the length of your mat. So for some of you who have more of the other props, and if you practice frequently, you can take more height. So you could put the bolster and then 3 foams even below that, so have a little bit more height. And I do have props to lend out, so please contact me if you do want to get into the props during this time. So sit on the support now. Make sure you're warm enough, have whatever you need nearby, because after this we're going to go into the relaxing Shavasana. Then lie back. You have to move your buttocks a little bit further forward, so you slide off the support so your shoulders are on the floor. Hands out to the sides, palms up. And stay with your legs bent for a moment. Really try and tuck your shoulders all the way under so that you're on the top of your shoulders. So it's just a gentle variation of Seto Bandha. So almost like you're rolling your shoulders back towards the prop that you're lying on. Okay. And then some of you may want to just keep your legs bent as they are. This may be fine for you. Otherwise, if you are able to straighten your legs, you may not straighten them all the way, but start to move your feet away from you. If you can, straighten them completely. Otherwise, go to your personal maximum. If you are able to straighten your legs, have your heels touching the floor, toes pointing up. So again, the upper leg is drawing into the hips. So we're not letting the legs pull away from us and out of the hip joints. Heels pressing down, the kneecaps are facing up to the ceiling. Just close your eyes. The upper back, the thoracic spine, gently pressing up into the chest. Collarbones spreading out to the sides. And just connect to your breath now. With each exhalation, allow the abdomen to soften and recede deeply backwards. See if you can stay like that for another minute or so. So just the other day we did the abdominal work into the core, and we were bringing attention to the solar plexus, also known as Manipuraka chakra. So that was more of those abdominal actions, and it brings fire into this area, into this solar plexus. The solar plexus connects us to the solar energy, provides a sense of willpower, determination, and heat within our belly. The navel center is our identity, our personality, and our ego. And when it's unbalanced, there's low self-esteem and stress. When it's balanced, there's confidence and we feel capable. So besides the wonderful detoxing action of these paririta actions, these twists, it also helps to align the energy or blockages or any imbalances by drawing in this fire, this solar energy. Bend your legs. So either you can just slide back to go into Shavasana with your chest coming off, your hips coming off, and just the support ends up underneath the back of your legs, or you can roll over and put a bolster under the back of your legs, however you feel comfortable, but come off that support so that your shoulders and your lower back is off the support. Take eye cover if you have something to cover your eyes with, or even a belt or whatever you've got. And just check in that when you're lying down, that your chin moves down towards your chest. So the back of the neck is long. So often it feels like we got that action, but if you just take a moment to feel that if your forehead is tilting back and it's lower than your chin, then you need to take head support. Some a folded blanket or towel under the back of your head. So then you are able to lengthen the back of your neck, drawing your chin down towards your chest. Be sure to have your shoulders moving away from your ears, your shoulder blades sliding, gliding down the back towards the buttocks. And your buttocks flesh moving away from you. Your palms are facing up, so we're receiving, but your hands are relaxed. Your fingers soften and curl. Release any tension in the shoulder area. So let the shoulders soften back towards the earth below you, allowing the outer edges of your shoulder blades to be on the floor. So if the outer edges of your shoulder blades are still lifting from the floor, relax more in the shoulders. Let go of them. Let them relax back to the ground below. And with that, let the entire front of the body soften towards the back body. So as if you're lying on this soft beach sand on a warm, sunny day, lying on the beach on a towel. And as you relax, you soften your body deeply from the front towards the back into the sand, sinking deeper and deeper. As we let go of the body, just bring the awareness to the breath. Allow the breath to soften down to where this breath originates, this prana deep within us. Your mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath as it draws you into this inner sanctuary. Bring your attention to the navel area and imagine this beautiful golden orb of light in this area as we've connected to the solar energy. And as you start to lengthen your breath, allow that golden light to rise and expand, reaching to every part in the body. And then bring your hands onto your abdomen towards the navel area. Just place your hands there for a moment. Let your breath return to normal breathing. Bend your legs. And now raise your right arm up and overhead onto the floor behind you and slowly roll over to your right, letting your head rest on that arm. Bring your knees up close in towards your chest. And in that position, start to open your eyes, looking down towards the top of the thigh. Slowly focusing your eyes. And when we come out of this, it's always important to not just jump up. Try and bring your head up last. So press your left hand onto the floor. Press down into the left hand. Start lifting up. Your head comes up last and sit onto something. Sit tall. Bring your hands together again into Namaskarasana, the prayer position. Lift your chest. Release your head down to your heart and have a moment to make your own inner acknowledgements. When you're ready, slowly start to open your eyes. Deep gratitude and love. Thank you all. Wish you a beautiful day. It's such amazing weather this time of the year. Lots of love to you all.